Hi everyone, Trina here, and I'm going to be bouncing between the two books that we've been reading, and today I wanted to get some more into the sacred Atlantis, so the sacred journey to Atlantis, and this book, I've never read it before. I've had it for a long time, and I was literally called to buy it, and it's so funny the way it's just presenting itself right now to you guys and me as well. It's it's apparently very synchronistic for many of you, and that's so exciting to hear because I have a strong connection to the Atlantean times as well. So it makes me very excited to hear others resonating with this material because it's like we've done stuff together before, and that's beautiful, and it's confirmation, and it just makes me very happy. So I love hearing about you guys and what your experiences are with these timelines as well. It's quite fascinating. So this is chapter 1, The Sacred Journey to Atlantis, and it is chapter 1, The Seed is Planted. And like I said, I haven't read this so I'm reading it with you guys, so we'll see what they've got to say. So, a spiritual awakening is occurring on Earth that was predicted thousands of years ago. Individuals everywhere are being touched by higher energies channeled to Earth at this time to assist in a rebirthing process. This awakening provides each person opportunities to choose the most appropriate path and to live a life of higher truth, value, and integrity. The awakening affects individuals in different ways. Some choose to clean up their acts by letting go of situations that have caused them pain. Some rediscover God and experience the sense of love that this rediscovery brings. Others direct their energies in service to the world, such as helping humanity or cleansing the earth, which needs so much attention. Still, others travel to sacred power spots around the globe, channeling higher vibrations into the very essence of the earth's core and experiencing transformation in the process. The uniqueness of each path is programmed by the higher self. What is right for one is not necessarily right for another. Each path is different, yet all lead to the same goal: enlightenment. Enlightenment means or implies understanding or innerstanding, as Seven Bomar would say. As used in this text, enlightenment presents an illuminated state of mind achieved through mastery and through initiations, which challenge individuals to seek higher truth, value, and consciousness. The achievements of enlightenment usually take years and require discipline and dedication. A seeker of illumination is often called a student, a disciple, or initiate, and eventually is guided to great beings of light who are called ascended masters. And these masters are our elder sisters and brothers who have walked before us and who light the way for those embodied upon the earth. Some of the great masters commonly known to all are Jesus, Buddha, Zoroaster, Mother Mary, Krishna, and Kuan Yin. These are just but a few who guide us now, for there are many. In reality, there are countless numbers who assist us on our journey to know God. The goal of enlightenment is for individuals to become masters in physical form. Few have accomplished this in the past because of their dedication. Few have accomplished this because of their dedication, purity, and commitment that it takes to do so. Yet, just as those in the ascended realms have managed to accomplish this feat by mastering the earth's curriculum of love, light, and understanding universal laws, so shall we in time. Only through mastery shall each of us walk in the footsteps of those who have gone before. Enlightenment prepares us for entry into a world and a kingdom foreign to Earth's existence. This new world is in the fifth dimension and higher. It is a world of thought manifestation, and one which knows no boundaries, such as we experience here on Earth. Understanding the laws that govern this higher state of existence require a higher consciousness and an understanding of a language that is transmitted primarily through analogies and symbolism. To excel in learning this new curriculum requires one to transcend the understanding of the physical, three-dimensional world we live in. It demands that one accepts a viewpoint of existence from a totally different perspective, a viewpoint which is often 180 degrees at variance from the one you have accepted as truth. Since the earth is a physical, dense world, everything here is experienced through the five senses. Thus, we witness life from the perspective that everything is either a solid, liquid, or gas. In the higher dimensions, energy vibrates at a higher frequency, closer to the speed of light. There, the etheric governs existence. The rules and the procedures are very different, making it difficult to understand and accept through the use of symbols and analogies. To describe it would be like seeing a color never seen on Earth before and trying to explain that color to a friend. Or to use a more common example, it would be like trying to describe a color to someone without eyesight. It is through the higher dimensions and understanding of them, however, that the humans will find freedom from limitation. Understanding the curriculum and the curricula of the higher dimensions will free us from the pain and suffering which has kept us in bondage for so long. It is through this portal of time-space that many on Earth are preparing to become masters, transcending the limitations that hold us to the past and prevent us from seeing the future. The journey to mastery begins from within. It is a spiritual journey on a path that gets narrower and narrower. When one decides to undertake the journey, he or she automatically agrees to be a participant in a process designed to strengthen the soul. Mastery is the path to enlightenment. It is the decision to leave worldly possessions in the third dimension behind in search for the gifts of the higher dimensions of love and light. Mastery is the approach one takes to find the power within, which ends the search for the power from around. It represents the culmination of the journey that leads to peace of mind, harmony, abundance, and love. The journey to higher consciousness lies within each one of us. It is a journey that usually takes years to achieve, yet it can be attained by any soul who wishes to undertake this experience. The journey can be painless, although it is sometimes through experiencing pain that the growth occurs. The journey is free, although it is tough. Giving, as the initiate learns, that the real benefits and the rewards are received tenfold and more. the journey is priceless, which no one who has undergone the experience will deny. The journey on which the Ascended Masters guide individuals is one which involves diversity, yet oneness, separateness, then unity with higher self, testing, but with strict integrity, unconditional love, compassion, and forgiveness, patience and acceptance, freedom, yet discipline and commitment. If one is ready to acquire these characteristics and learn what they mean in the higher realms, then one is ready to walk the path of the spiritual warrior and begin the journey to enlightenment. The story recorded in this book describes only part of a journey that each individual who traveled to Bimmini has taken in this lifetime. The events detailed here tell of one challenge posed to each person. The events also represent the culmination of several tests of initiations that have been experienced thus far by each. The decision to go on the trip was a personal one for each in attendance. The learning experience was also individualized. The Ascended Masters never told us we should or should not do. That is not their style, nor is it their role. In fact, to do so would be contrary to their essence. They would make suggestions and guide us. That is all. We were always free to choose whatever direction we wished to take. The suggestion to make the sacred journey to Atlantis was actually made nearly a full year prior to the trip, although at that time no one suspected that the foundation was already being laid for the trip to Bimmini. The seed was planted in a message received by Norma from Master Kuthumi, requesting that she and her husband Rudy consider taking a trip to England and Egypt. Neither of them had ever considered traveling to sacred sites or power points. During the previous years, they had met individuals who had done so and were always interested in hearing about the experiences, but had not considered this as a part of their own lifestyle. Messages began to be transmitted, and telepathically, Norma, during the winter of 1990, suggesting that they might wish to consider taking the trip to England and Egypt. While this seemed appealing, it also seemed impractical, for they did not have the money for such a trip. Also, they were concerned about how much time it would take. With both of them working, it seemed like it was inconvenient to take 2 weeks for a trip that did not fulfill either a business purpose or the desire to visit family members. For 3 months, thoughts persisted. Finally, on March 18th, Norma sat at the computer and asked Kuthumi for clarification as to why this trip was even being suggested. Over a period of months, she received several transmissions which clarified the purpose and the agenda. It quickly became clear that there was a much higher purpose for this trip, and that it had to do with accessing power points on Earth. As usual, Kuthumi's responses were both humbling and intriguing. The very essence of the message changed their initial attitudes about going. Entire selections from each of the messages were reprinted below. At first glance, it may appear that these messages are not directly related to this book, which is a summary to the trip to Bimmini. Studying them, however, reveals other information of great importance. Within the words, while the messages were specific to the two individuals, they also contain very special general information for anyone wishing to travel to sacred places. For example, they reveal the nature of exchange of energies that take place within individuals when they access sacred spots. In other cases, instructions are given that the detailed procedures to follow when entering certain vortexes or temples also. The benefits that humanity receives when one enters these power areas are revealed. Thus, the rationale for completing such journeys is outlined. As an individual contemplates a trip to a sacred energy vortex, he or she must know that there is always a higher purpose for them going there. The higher purpose encompasses destiny, mission, attainment of higher truth, and or spiritual growth. Often these reasons are not understood or even acknowledged as the reasons for making such a trip. We might believe that we are planning a 3-week vacation to sightsee in the Andes of Peru, when in reality, the higher self is guiding us there for a much higher purpose, incomprehensible to the rational mind. That happened to me when I was brought to Greece and Italy and the island of Patmos and Lindos and Rhodes and Turkey. It was, I thought, just a simple college graduation gift vacation, but whoa, was it not that at all. And it was one of the most spiritual experiences I've ever had in my entire life. And it wasn't just one, it was one after another, after another, after another. So it was profound. So any of you being called to these places, pay attention to that. It really might be important to your soul's growth and evolution, and part of your mission, part of the work you came here to do with energy exchanges. So pay attention to that if you're really drawn or guided to certain things. We hope that the information contained in the following messages on England, Egypt, and Greece, which actually set the stage for the journey to Bimmini, will provide the foundation for understanding the messages and the information presented later in the book. It is a fascinating process to witness how perfectly orchestrated everything really is. High insight gives one the power to see the connections that were being made. And, in retrospect, it is clear that these initial messages were setting the stage and providing the training program for the journey yet to come, Bimmini. March 18th, 1990. This is from Kuthumi. It's written in different, so I'll say Kuthumi. So, Kuthumi, I surround myself with love and light and request a transmission from you this morning. Please give Rudy and me clarification regarding the trip to England and Egypt. Also, please provide me a tentative agenda and the amount of time that you suggest that we would stay in each of the countries. Reply. Good morning, bright star. We send you greetings from the realms of the highest and welcome you back to the fold. It has been some time since we have completed a communication of this nature, and we thank you for providing us the opportunity again to make the connection. Again, it is I, Kuthumi, your father and guide for your journey on the earth plane in this moment of time. The journey to England and Egypt is significant for your path and Rudy's. It is important because of the tremendous currents of energy being stirred up in those areas of the world. You and Rudy have chosen the path of the spiritual warrior in this lifetime, and it is because you have done so that you are destined to trouble many of the cries that are beginning to surge over the beloved Terra. The journey to England and the Nile is designed specifically for that reason. By appearing in selective energy vortexes, you will channel a higher vibrational current into the sacred areas, which will help activate the mysteries destined to be revealed. Also, your presence will allow your access to etheric records that have lain dormant for eons of time. By giving to the earth and the plan, you will be receivers, and in receiving, you will be wiser. By obtaining wisdom, you will see the glory and the magnificence of the God Force. Wow. Take the journey with your heart, center, and third eye in constant equilibrium. So take the journey with your heart, center, and third eye in constant equilibrium. Go with the Spirit of God. Allow the Spirit to guide your many steps. Do not take an agenda. Instead, allow things to fall into place the way the moment moves you. Both places proceed with ease and enjoyment. If you feel a yearning or a pulling of your spirit at any given moment, allow that moment to guide you. We tell you that this will provide more knowledge and wisdom than any plan you could ever develop. While in England, drive to the southern coast and stay one evening on the shore that connects the country to the mainland of Europe. Rudy and Norma interpreted this site to be Dover, which was confirmed in the second message. Bring the energy of Stonehenge and Glastenbery with you to this location. Therefore, I suggest that you take this journey last. Meditate in all areas that you visit, especially on the hillside of Glastenbery. Walk the paths of the Druids and access their codes from etheric. Command that the highest memories come forth at these moments and relive that which you created so many centuries ago in your earth time. Remember Thames. Remember the Thames, the rivers of England that comprise its banner. They are significant for the memory of St. George. Take the memory and move its significance to the Glastenbery, allowing at all times the two to become one in this moment of time. Should you be successful in doing this, the future will be yours. I say no more. When you journey down the Nile, take the moments of truth that each of you experience as initiates of Isis, and command that it return with your presence. Access the tombs and the energies, the spots that are still sacred today. As you move through them, open your third eye. Obtain the wisdom that is waiting to be unleashed. When passing through those spots to the other points on your journey, close your inner doors to retain the sacred information in an urn within your own solar plexus. Capture it. Capture the essence as you would the most precious perfumes and oils, and then allow that aroma to stay for a brief moment before depositing it within the solar plexus area, where, following this experience, it will be positioned for immediate use in years to come. The main focal points of your visit to Egypt shall be, and forever will be, the Great Pyramid of Giza and the Temple of Isis. They will initiate and culminate the journey on the etheric, for they represent the total combining of male and female electromagnetic energy forces in operation on Earth today. While the structures are still activated, they can no longer perform the duties of command because of the distortions and the misrepresentations that have manifested in these areas throughout the ages. Therefore, journey there with shields up and allow only the purest of energies to siphon through your gauze. We shall provide more information on the details in the days to come. For today, this introduction seems to suffice. Study well before you fly to your destiny. This is amazing. I think Chris and Cherie Geo, they were part of this. Spiritual warriors that they are. It's profound. And they literally were called to Giza. And they did profound work there. And they received profound gnosis and enlightenment. And it changed them forever. This is what happens. And they did it. I did it too. And sometimes you don't have to go far. Sometimes it's reconnecting with the part of land currently near you or around you, but you just forgot that you were connected to it. So pay attention and investigate your own local areas and see what you're drawn to and see what you find. So, you asked about the length of time. It is written that you will stay for 7 days in England, 9 in Egypt. There is a significance to these numbers and for the world. Heed them carefully and enjoy, my beloved daughter and son of the command. I am Cthulhu Adonai. Okay, so next we're going into, I think, some more of this. Yes, we're getting ready to go into the next transition, so I'll continue until we get to the next transition. So, what can one say upon receiving a message such as this? Naturally, the message changed Norma and Rudy's attitudes about going. It sounded fascinating, although they hardly understood a word that had been translated. What did Cthulhu mean when he said that it was written that you will stay for 7 days in England and 9 in Egypt? Creation and completion. Did they preclude free choice and imply destiny? In the Far East, the masters refer to these turning points in life as dharma. Were Norma and Rudy about to embark on a major turning point in their lives? And if so, did that mean that journeying to a special power vortex on Earth had the power to alter anyone's life? Moving people closer to their missions and their destiny. The entire premise of this book implies just that. Shortly after providing this message, in another transmission, Cthulhu stated the following. On April of this year, an etheric door is opening over the Nile. In this opening, all the lost records of Egypt and the ancient scriptures for that civilization are being activated. It is likened to a library vault that has been closed for centuries, and the doors to this great chamber are once again being unlocked. To travel there while this portal of time and space is open will allow you to be programmed with the information that you will need to fulfill your mission on Earth. It will provide you with the information, keys, and codes necessary to understand Egypt's connections to the Templars. Yes. The etheric doorway will only be opened for 6 months. We are guiding several star seeds there to celebrate the opening of this portal, and we request that you journey there to seal the gateway. For several weeks, Norma and Rudy studied the messages, asking friends for inputs. 3 other individuals stated that they felt compelled to join them in Egypt, which they did. The same 3 persons were also among the 34 who journeyed to Bimmini. Thus, 5 of the 34 shared this journey by experiencing the energies of both Egypt and Bimmini. Rudy and Norma initiated the process in England and Greece. In June, several weeks after the messages had been received, it appeared to be time to obtain more information regarding the trip. The energies were in motion to go. Individuals were committed, and plans were being formed. England appeared to be the first stop, which was where Rudy and Norma would start their journey. The five would meet in Cairo on a designated date. Norma returned to the computer to ask Kuthumi for additional input. The message zeroed in on the first part of the trip, England. And this is where we will pick up, June 2nd, 1990. And this is, Kuthumi, I request to be allowed to reestablish a connection to your frequency and receive another transmission in light and love. I ask that you send me further information regarding our trip to England. So we'll pick up there on the next one. And this is beautiful. I think this is great information. And it's explaining our connection to these sacred sites and why we're drawn to them, and why when some of us go there we have profound experiences with them as we get to them. And boy, I've sure had that experience. I experienced it when I went to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. There's been many times in my life where I've felt these connections to energies and ancient civilizations and ancient past and ancient wisdom. So this is what we're doing, guys. Remembering that which was lost and forgotten, and remembering what we really are. So I love you, my fellow Atlanteans and my soul tribe. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great day or night wherever you may be, and much love and favor to you all. Mwah. Namaste.